The Beef and Barnzy Show, brought to you by Bowlersmart.com, trusted by bowlers around the world since 2004. By Lightning Strikes Bowl, home of Bowlers Mart Pro Shop. By Platinum Ford, drive the difference. By Fire Lake Bowling Center, 24 state-of-the-art lanes. By True Grit Coatings, drive on our passion. By Road to Grip, king of them all. By 900 Global, striking worldwide.
What's up, everybody? It is Thursday morning here in Pflugerville. I finally got all of the information so we can do the prize drawing, and we'll do that in a few minutes. Shout out again to Casey Mattingly for kindly donating a ball as well. So we've already given away one ball, and we have two more balls to give away from our pre-Christmas giveaway. Thank you to everybody who contributed, who bought stuff off the website. Thanks a lot for that. Let me just get rid of this banner along the bottom. Yeah, so overall, interesting. Team USA trials finished. Obviously, big news show-wise, Ryan ended up coming second, so he got back on Team USA. Won the last day. Bryce Oliver was the champion on the men's side. I'll be honest, I don't really have any clue what happened on the ladies' side. I didn't have really a rooting interest in that, so it's not that I don't care. It's just that I didn't spend any time looking at it. So that was by the by. We got some people in this morning. Hey, Joe. Hey, Jay. What's going on, Ray? Nice to see you. Thanks for joining us. Billy, nice to see you too. The llama. Eli. Nico, of course, nice to see you. I'm sure Nico can give us a rundown on the ladies' side. He pays quite a bit of attention to most things bowling. Kirk, nice to see you. The Aggie, of course, nice to see you again. Shout out to Dawson Peterson. Yep, congratulations to him on winning the US Amateur. Gabriel, nice to see you. How many website developers did you beat down? No, it wasn't that bad. It was just, I just had to remind him again, and he got it to me pretty quickly. So, yeah. RP Martin says, morning, Stu. Looking forward to transferring. I'm going to let my post shop try a drill into the wing option for the first one. Yeah. Chris did that. So if you want to see what that kind of rolls like, no, Megan, I don't need a new roof. Yeah, if you want to see how that rolls, check that review out. I did the up layout, missing it. I think I should have drilled it a little stronger. So we will see. Chris, thank you for your support. Just got the shirt. Awesome. Nice to see you down there in Sefefika. Mike, hello. Yeah. Happy Thursday, everybody. Yeah, happy Thursday. Happy New Year. Hey, Glenn. How are we doing up there in Canada? So, yeah, I think there's definitely been more videos on missing the wing than hitting the wing. I'm not 100% sure how many people are really going to are going to drill to, but we shall see. One more thing. Let me see if I can find it while I'm still talking to you guys. Does anybody have any questions about Transformer? Of course, Belmo wanted to troll about the Ashes, which seems only fair. The cricket. Let me just see if I can find this. Right. Of course, we still have spots in the clinic that me and Stephanie are running down at Fiesta Bowl in New Braunfels. Saturday the 31st. The info is on my Facebook page, but come out, check us out. We will have some giveaways in terms of bowling balls and such. So yeah, come and check it out. Learn a little bit, try and make some more money at nationals. I can give you some tips, trying to help you out, trying to just avoid some of the pitfalls that people fall into when bowling at nationals. One last other thing, shout out to Platinum Ford again. My truck got delivered on Tuesday after the show, so I brand new F-150. Excited about that. Yeah, so yeah, we'll see. I'm very excited to get out on the road with it, test out some of the new things. If you are looking for a new truck or a new car or anything of that style, check out Platinum Ford. Get up there and get a test drive. The new Platinum Ford spare ball looks very sexy. If you're preferring a reactive ball, they have hyperdrives at the moment. Yes, I bought a truck for a free spare ball. Yeah. Hey Chris, what's going on? Chris is the owner up in Shawnee. He says, morning. We still have 2 or 3 spots left for Snowman. So if you are interested in the toughest testing in bowling, check that out. Snowman Doubles on Facebook. Fire Lake Bowling Center, host of many PBA events, home of the PBA Southwest Hall of Fame. So either reach out to Chris or check out, I believe it's Snowman Doubles on Facebook, and get yourself in. No 2 pros on one team, so the field is a little bit more open this year. So check that out. It is a very fun tournament. I am giving it a miss this year because of my finger. The stop-start nature of that event, I don't think is going to work out very well for me right now. I'm very sad to miss it because it's one that I kind of like making a couple of bucks at. But there we go. So Brad and Kyle did a video about their balls of the year, and when they got to the Transformer, Kyle couldn't miss with it on the house shot and the Sportsman. He made it look fantastic. To be honest, Kyle Sherman makes pretty much everything look fantastic. But I'm not sure you can count it as ball of the year for 2025, though, can you? I mean, it did come out in 2026. So planning to go to Fiesta, even though the county taxman made me pull out of Reno. Ugh. Hey, Casey says, if you were to run a fantasy bowling league over the course of the PBA season, how would you run the formats to? Few of my friends and I have been doing it for the last couple of seasons. Well, I guess it depends if everybody's together. Because if everybody's together, then you can run it like a fantasy football draft where, you know, there's only one EJ Tackett, there's only one Anthony Simonson, so to speak. If you aren't all together, then I guess you have to do it kind of like the Premier League does it with their fantasy, where you get a budget and then you just you spend the budget. So like say you had $50 million, maybe EJ, and you've got to pick 10 players, you know, maybe EJ's like $32 million or whatever. So then you've got to pick out the rest of the players, or, you know, whatever the numbers are. So they're the 2 options. Yeah, I mean, I tend to like that as the option. So you can, so like, you know, one particular player isn't like the be all and end all of it, because at least in fantasy football, it's a little bit more fantasy NFL football. The person who's the best player tends to change a little bit more, whereas you kind of know going into the season that, like, you know, EJ, Belmo, and Simon are going to make a bunch of the shows. So if you don't have one of those 3 guys, you're kind of in a bit of trouble. So Yeah, just getting a jump on it. All right, well, let me get this prize wheel up. Let me just figure out how to do that. Share screen. Right. So we have got a bunch of names. Let me just bring this back up. There isn't really a way that this is going to look anything anything other than ridiculous. So I guess I'll this is for the first ball coming from us. So yeah. Here we go. Let's see who's gonna win. Oh, it's somebody who didn't buy many tickets. Mark S. So Mark S is the winner of the ball from me. And now we have one more ball from Casey Mattingly, making it 3 ball giveaways. It'll still be the same. Just send me an email, beefandbarnzy@gmail.com, and I will facilitate the necessary. So let's see who won the ball from Casey. There we go. Who is that? April. I believe April bought stuff off beefandbarnzy.com. So congratulations to April. You won a bowling ball also. So there we go. That was the prize giveaways. Yeah. Yeah, it looks like a giant dirty washer that with that many names. Yeah, well, because people got extra entries for buying on the website, and then we were actually fortunate there was a lot of people who did lots of giveaways. So yeah, that's cool. Send me an email, beefandbarnzy@gmail.com, and we will get that over to you. You saw how many names there were, Chris. Like, it's not like I can fix it. Just, it is what it is, I'm afraid. So, yeah. So we gave away one ball last week from a random commenter. And then, of course, the 2 balls we've given away now. So, like I say, to the 2 winners, April and Mark, send me a email, beefandbarnzy@gmail.com, and tell me I need address, which ball you want, and a weight. Bearing in mind, if you order Transformer, for example, I can't send it until it is available to the general public. So you'll have to wait just a little bit. Yeah. So, okie dokie. I was expecting a solid or hyped Gremlin, but this HP5 with a solid has me very excited. Yeah. So you want a solid or a hybrid, right? Yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately, no. You have to actually pay to enter. Oof. Sorry. No, Daniel, your number wasn't picked. But yeah, we've got this VR1 cover on this new Transformer. Played with it a little bit more the last couple of days. I'm still intrigued to drill one a little bit stronger, and then of course drill into the wing. I actually have a couple coming in the next few days. I've got one coming on Friday, so I might try and get holes in that one. Which would you prefer to see? Me drill through the wing so we can see the difference, or should I go with stronger with the pin to see the difference in like a bit more flair with the pin up layouts? Just let me know what you guys think, and yeah, we'll go. I'll probably go with that. You're saying Into the Wing. Okay. I mean, let's see what some other people think. Does anybody have any other questions about it? About what we're seeing, what we're doing? I don't really have a strong direction for the show this morning. Chris is flying back from Vegas. He was there cheering on Ryan. He was being the cheerleader. So, like I say, this show is a bit up in the air. We might be on for 20 minutes. We might be on for an hour. It really depends whether you guys lead the show, so to speak. So if you're bored of me and you want me to shut up, just let me know, and I will get on with doing other things. Chris, how would Equinix Solid, Phase 2 Pearl, and Rockstar Amp be during League for slower revs? If I was only doing 3 balls, I wouldn't do a Phase 2 Pearl and a Rockstar Amp. I don't necessarily think that there is any reason to have both of those balls. So that would be the thing for me. I wouldn't do that. I would probably replace the Phase 2 Pearl with maybe like a Viking. If I wanted to gap it a little better. What do you think would give the biggest difference in ball motion? That is up for debate. Yeah, that is definitely up for debate. I think probably going with the stronger pin. Nah, down. Nah, I think down. Yeah, I think drilling into the wing is probably going to be the biggest difference. I have no idea, to be perfectly honest. The hype. Tell me to call you. I call you. You just leave me hanging. Called you back. Told you the exact time I was going to call you. Called you. Never answers. What are you going to do? Well, I mean, there is that. There is that. But even then, I am a rotor grip guy. Yeah. I actually haven't spoken to anybody. I mean, I guess you could check out Darren's review on it. I actually don't even know if he's got it done or not. But you could check that out. Vi didn't make it look great while telling everybody it was great, so I was a little confused by that. But yeah. This is a good question, Kelly. I actually don't know. I would imagine so, yes. Can Chris actually coach Ryan by the rules? Yes. Can Chris coach Ryan and Ryan listen to what Chris is saying? Debatable. I mean, don't know. But yeah, that would definitely be that would definitely be up for debate. Yeah, I mean, I think pitch on the fingers, maybe a little bit shorter on the overall span, and then maybe some pain meds. I haven't really felt like the tape has helped me as yet, but I think it depends which joint it is. Mine is the very end joint. If it's the middle joint, I think there are some taping methods that make sense. Yeah. What would be your Arsenal for this what would be your own Arsenal for the Open Championships this upcoming year? I'm quite fortunate because I get to see some of the bowling. But for me personally, in the group that I play in, I will probably go with something similar to what I did last year. So I'd go with something like XL, maybe Transformer now. And then down off that, I mean, I think it would be probably Viking or Equinox. Then for the bottom of the bag, I would definitely have something like IQ Tour or Hustle X-Ray, something like in that sort of range. Spare ball, the Next Factor, and then I'm not 100% sure. But they were the sort of ball, like for me, the sort of balls I've had a success with in the last couple of years have been the XL, the Absolute Power, the Equinox was fairly decent for me also. Yeah, I've had a decent amount of success. DNA Coil is another ball that's like fairly decent for me there also. So yeah, that's where I'd go. I'm not bowling the Snowman, but if I was, I would probably have a couple of older balls, and then like I'd take a couple of stronger balls that I probably wouldn't end up using because of the way the lanes will end up getting done, and then I'd just take a couple of balls that I would ruin. So in the past, I've used like a Proton Physics has been pretty good. Yeah, stronger balls, bit more surface, trying to lock them up in front of you. Have you used Transformer in League, and where did you see it being most useful? Have you adjusted the surface on the Transformer? Yes, I have a little bit. I added a little bit more surface. I felt like it was a little too shiny for me. So that was kind of, I think that they were a little bit concerned when they first released that ball that the core was going to make it way too easy. So way too early. Because the core makes it pretty early already, and then having a really strong cover on it. So they tried to make it a little shinier. And like for me personally, with the weaker pin that I drilled on it, I felt like it didn't have enough surface on it. From what I've seen, in the one ball and center, it looked okay on the fresh, and then it didn't look so great. And then in the other ball and center, where I think it's going to be at its best is once you kind of have to move left into the oil. That's where I see it being at its best, when you've got a bit of angle through the front part of the lane. So we will see. I think it's going to be that. I think it's going to be better as a transition ball rather than a fresh ball from kind of my initials, but that might be just because the layout I've got on it is too weak. Mike Tomlin stealing your line about Anthony Uncle, kind of like the Steelers in the playoffs now. Yeah, that was pretty good. Mike Tomlin's fairly quotable. I don't really particularly like Mike Tomlin as a coach, but goddamn, he's funny with some of his quotes. Daniel, a question we get asked a lot. Having difficulty with house shots getting clipped. Miss right, go high, miss left, 210. Any advice? So for me on the house shot, I think there are a couple of different ways to go about it. I actually believe that starting with a slightly weaker ball and balling up on the house shot makes the most sense. So you kind of play closer to the friction, and then once you have to, you're starting to experience that under over. I tend to like moving into the oil a little bit more and balling up, because then you've got more chance of the ball hooking in the oil, but also it's got more chance of being a little smoother off the dry, or off the friction. So that's kind of the route that I tend to go in League. I don't necessarily see a lot of other people try that, but I think that actually balling up once you move left is actually quite a good idea. It seems a little counterintuitive, but when you realize how much more oil there is in the middle of the lane than there is where you're playing, it kind of makes a little more sense. So I hope that sort of makes sense. I'm sure it does. You're a pretty smart dude. Yeah, unfortunately, Mitch, you did miss it and you didn't win. Sorry. I don't drink tea. So yeah, I don't have one. Yeah. Well, then I think you just got to commit to one or the other. So obviously, the way you're going to throw it, if you want it to work in the oil, is going to be different to how you want it to work in the dry. So even when you play an angle, you've just got to decide: are you going to want to play the dry more, and then you're going to adapt to line up for that, and then hope that you're going to be able to get away with it in the oil. Like for me, I miss left more than I miss right. So I try to make it so that I can make the ball hook in the oil and not two pin. And then I kind of don't worry about so much missing right because I just do that way less. So yeah, that's kind of philosophically on the house shot. Once it starts to get not ideal, you just got to pick one or the other. What is your dream ball you want to see released in 2026? I don't know because I don't know that I know enough about it to know whether it's a good idea or not. I think that I would like to see another non-AI cell ball. I don't know that I'm necessarily going to get that. Maybe if we're going to do it, maybe an XL Pearl, because I really like that nucleus core, and that's been really good for me. So that would probably be where I would go, because I'm pretty sure we're not going to get a Hypercell remake. But if I could, I would go nucleus core, no AI, with whatever the strongest cover we have at the time, would be the way I would go, because it's been a while since we've had a strong ball. So, that'd be what I'd go with. XL Pearl, yeah. That I mean, I could deal with that. XL Pearl would probably be okay. Yeah, I mean, I could deal with that. But I don't necessarily know we need any more Pearl balls from a Storm, family point of view. Feel like we're missing a couple of the stronger balls have been a little bit on the back burner because the Ion Max has been doing so well. But I am kind of ready for just a different view going down the line. I felt like they were gonna be, but having thrown them, I think that the XL is a little earlier and a little bit smoother. I think that the Transformer seems to be cleaner with the same layout. Now, once I start fucking around and drilling wings and all the rest of the shit, we'll see. So don't know. But for me, so far, they're not that close. Yeah, that's kind of. How do you feel about Dom being on the same staff again? To be honest, I don't really. It doesn't. It makes life a little bit simpler. For some of the activities, and then the other point is it makes it a little bit. We got less people to give us a free lunch. So I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of fun seeing the other perspective of it when I hang out with some of the Brunswick people. So we'll probably do that a lot less now. But yeah, I mean, Dom never listens to me about balls anyway. So, and he sees the lane quite a bit differently to how I see it. So I don't know that we'll necessarily benefit a great deal from, talking back and forth about the balls. Maybe we will. But yeah, we'll see. I'm hopeful that he is going to discover a more confidence in what he's doing, or feel like he's not as trapped as he might have done with the Brunswick balls being a little earlier. So we will see. I don't know whether he's right or wrong, but I do know that once he gets something in his mind, he wants to exercise that demon, so to speak. Yeah, we will see. We aren't talking about that until next week. That's a good question. I think that he will like. I imagine he will probably like Iron Pro Solid. I imagine, because I haven't really spoken to him at all the last few weeks. I could imagine that he will find a way to use the next factor late on in some of the blocks. But yeah, I don't know. We will see. I mean, maybe this transformer will be the answer for everybody. Who knows? But yeah, we will see on that one. I actually haven't heard anything about it. I imagine it will probably end up being Randy, but I don't know. All right. Well, next week we will be up at Storm. I don't know what the schedule is looking like quite yet, and whether that will allow us to do a live. The live may well be us just walking around and chatting to a few of the pros, and go from there. But we will see what we can put together. Yeah, but Dom's internet connection is so shy at his house that it's just like almost unusable. So it's like so bad. He lives in the middle of nowhere. Thoughts on surface changes? I hate surface change on the Iron Pro Solid. I think it's one of the balls that's absolutely the best in the finish it comes at. Yeah, I think it's way better shiny than it is dull. When it goes dull, I just feel like it is fighting with itself, because the cover is quite early anyway, but then it doesn't have enough guts to be as early as it's being. Hey, how do conversations work when going into negotiations for extending or ending a contract with a company? Well, basically everybody's contracts in general are at the end of the year. Some people have 2-year deals, whatever. Depending on how far up the food chain you are, obviously those conversations go a little bit. Storm tend to send out a contract, and most of the time it's fairly, you are on fairly much the same page as them, so you kind of understand if you're in a position where you might make more money or make less money. And then you just, you get the deal, you get the offer, and you either accept, or you want to, call them up and have a conversation and try to justify why you should get more money. I don't think anybody's calling them up and saying, oh, you shouldn't pay me that much. When it comes to ending it, I think basically you just get to that point where you get to the end of the year or the end of your deal, and you're up front. You say, hey, I'm going to go in a different direction. Like, thanks. It depends on how the relationship's ending, I guess. But the ending a contract conversation is usually a lot shorter than the negotiating a contract conversation. So, yeah, that's kind of the way it tends to be. It's fairly unusual for guys who are where the company is fairly happy with them and they're offering them a contract for them to then move. So that's a fairly unusual situation, I think. But was that what you were kind of after? I don't really know how to answer that any other way. So if you want some more information, be more specific. Hey Stu, I was wondering, I watched the Transformer video of Christ and I got out of it that the pinup should continue to flare more with a shorter VAR pivot. That's why it corners harder. I think that when you hit the weight block now, it makes it which is the lower pin, it makes it flare more. So ironically, I think that the pin down layout where you hit the weight block now makes the ball do what a lot of people thought it did in the past, which was, it's earlier and smoother, which isn't really what happens when you drill down on a regular ball, because usually if you drill down on a regular ball that doesn't have like a huge piece of weight block there, you end up making the ball a little higher RG and a little lower flaring. So in general, actually the ball doesn't transition as quickly. So yeah, I think that like this ball might have made the world of layouts even more confusing than it was before. Hey, user, you didn't need to send me another super chat. I would have answered it regardless, but I appreciate it. And if you're looking to move, how early do those conversations start with other brands? Do they seek you out, or is it more a player to ask the brands? I think that it's both ways, and I would say that it depends on the player and the and their principles, I guess. But I think that a lot of these conversations start in October time. Some start earlier. I mean, I think some people have made their decisions by the end of the tour season, because, we finished the tour like ages ago. So based on how you bowled then, you may not be starting the conversations with those brands, but you might have already made a decision that you're going to look for something different. So yeah, I can't really talk about what other people would do because A, that's not fair, and B, I don't necessarily have, all of the information on that. But I think that quite a lot of those conversations, like, people know, like other companies know which players they want to get or whether that guy's unhappy or, it's it's a bowl. It's the traveling circus, isn't it? The PBA. So I think that people are fairly aware of, which people are going to want to move or, and I think that towards the end of the year, like the last quarter is kind of when a lot of that stuff tends to go on. Based on SPI's intro video for the Transformer, I'd like to see a review by someone with lower rev rates to see the difference there. Yeah, I think that the problem is with the lower rev rates, you're going to see you're going to see less difference. So just in general, like, because the how fast the ball spins is going to exasperate the difference. So when you're doing a video like that, it's already difficult enough to really show the difference. So when the rev rate is lower and the difference is less, that doesn't necessarily mean that it isn't effective, because you only need a small difference from going from not striking at all to striking all the time, if that makes sense. So I think that when you're trying to really display something, you want it to have a little bit of a higher rev rate so you can see the difference. So that's kind of the issue. Hey Tim. Jim, how do you go about playing a set of lanes when the out of bounds is at 10 with a house shot? Um, um, my first thoughts on that would be I would move into the out of bounds to see if I can use it as hold. Because I see that happen quite a lot where it feels like the ball, like when you're throwing it to the right, it doesn't want to really get back. But if you stand further right, it'll go down the lane and then it'll make the move. So I personally would start further right and try and use that as a little bit of hold, is what I would do. No, I wouldn't consider carrying any pin down symmetrical ball. They roll bad for me. So no, I wouldn't. Current favorite is probably the Gremlin because I bowled 8. I don't know if you heard this, but I bowled 858 the other day. Yeah, that would probably be my my go-to at the minute. But I mean, I think that Gremlin has looked good, and then I think Viking has also looked fairly useful. Yeah. Any tips for bowling on longer patterns in practice? Do you start by playing outside of the lanes to see if there's yeah, I'm always trying to no matter what I'm bowling on, I always try to envision being able to take almost like I'm a kid and I draw the lane with a pencil or a crayon or whatever. Like in my mind, this is what I'm trying to do. And I'm trying to decide where I think the friction spot is on the lane and like how I can use that. And I think that if you can draw out in your mind where you think the friction is at, I think that's when you've got a clear picture of the lane. When you don't really know where the friction starts or the oil starts or the oil ends or whatever, however you want to describe it, that's when you're screwed. So I think it's a pretty good um, uh, process to kind of understand where you think the friction's at and where you think the oil's at, and that's how you go from there. But okay. Okay. You can see how much I ended up paying attention to it. So, okay. Well, they are questions I can ask when I'm in Utah this week or next week. But yeah, I will ask. So, so I think that if you're bowling like and you're staying on the same pair, I think starting a little bit right and seeing where you can create a little bit of a hook spot is a good idea. Hey Jody, how's it going? Jody is the person who is running the clinic that me and Stephanie are putting on the 31st of January. So she's our person. So yeah. Is there anything in bowling you still get excited about? Like a lot of us get excited about new bowling balls coming out. Yeah, I get excited about throwing 300. Love throwing 300. It's the best. Super excited for that clinic. Yeah, exactly. I get excited. I still get excited about new products. I still like it. I'm still a tech nerd. I like getting in there. I like drilling balls. I like trying to find a solution. Yeah, I still like practicing. I still like trying to figure out the problem. Like, you know, having that swing thought or that thing or that thought with your hand over where you want to get your hand at the bottom to like create the roll that you need. And like it fascinates me how such small differences in the way you get the ball off your hand can create such huge differences in score. Yeah, that just it fascinates me. It always has. It's what keeps me wanting to go and practice some more. Like, even when my hand's sore and like I'm trying to find ways in which I can get more games and get on the lanes more. I think that's how you get better. Like you want to learn, you want to understand. Yeah, that's pretty much the way it is. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you can always reach out beefandbarnzy@gmail.com. And then we can get with you and figure out which of us makes the most sense for you to try and reach out to, and we can set it up like that for sure. Either that, or you can try and hit us up on social media. Chris is fairly active on Instagram. So yeah, just reach out. And we can certainly set something up. So anyway, we have done quite well, and Nico was probably right. Here is the link. So it's on the Facebook page. If you want to just scan a QR code, you can head over to Facebook and go from there. You'd be surprised. I mean, I charge 100, and it's not really an hour. It's more of a session. Like, so, if we are coming to a natural conclusion around an hour, then we're going to be an hour. And if, we're an hour in and we just hit on something that we're trying to groove in and trying to figure out, then we'll be there for an hour and 20 minutes. That's kind of the way I do it. I don't like typically book lessons back to back to back to back. So, I'm not like Baker. I'm not anywhere near as popular as Baker in terms of lessons. So for me, I learned by getting the reps. So that's the way I do it. So if we're on the lanes and we're making progress, it's not like you go into the shrink and I say, your hour's up. Keep thinking about that. See you next time. That's not how I operate with it. Yeah, I'm there to try and help you get better. And that's what I charge. If you want to do it, that's great. If you don't, that's okay too. So what current ball is close to the roto grip disturbed? I don't really know that there is anything that's really that close to the roto grip disturbed, to be honest. Yeah, I don't know. Let's have a look. Maybe it'll jog my memory, but products, bowling balls. Let me have a little quick look. See if anything. There isn't anything that's really popping out to me that really is like. I know this isn't really the answer you want, but I don't know that I necessarily think there is something that's that close. Yeah, I really don't think there is anything right now that really makes that much sense. So yeah, I'm not sure, Jeff, to be honest. Maybe you could do a Rockstar amped with some surface. Because I think that covers a little cleaner than the Rockstar. But yeah, I'm not sure, to be honest. I feel like it's better. So is that surprisingly good, Eli, or surprisingly bad? You just said it's surprising. So was that more reasonable than you thought? What's identity version 2 pin down? I guess I don't know who you're replying to. Oh, sorry. As a lefty who throws down and in, I have identity pin down. That is my favorite and is my side. What are the pinballs, down balls complement it? I found the I don't necessarily know about pin down, but yeah, I think that Equinox for me complemented the identity quite well. I had both of those the version 2. I had that pin up and I felt like that worked well off an attention star as well. So yeah, that's kind of where I was at. No, but I can use the AI show notes. I'm not sure they'll understand any of what the fuck I've said, but you know, we can try. Trying to work more of the inside of the ball to create axis tilt. Any pitch suggestions currently helping? I don't really believe in changing your grip to change that. So I don't really have any suggestions for that because I think that it's more about your swing and keeping the right shoulder back so that you can get your elbow underneath you. Whereas if you get your right shoulder forward, your elbow goes out. And the reason why I know that so well is because that is a definite Stu issue that he struggles with. So that's where we're at with that. Okay, well that's good. Maybe I'm undercharging. Saw on Nate and Elise's video that Spencer was throwing a purple hammer. Never thought I'd see the day. Yeah. I mean, that's just what the world we live in right now. The lefties. Unless you're getting paid a lot, I think that having the most options of urethane pieces, I think, seems to be the most crucial thing. And being able to have access to all of the company's urethanes, like whether that be Hammer, Storm, Motive, I think makes the most sense. So good luck to Spencer. And we will see how he does, because I think he's going to be the rookie this year. So hey Tim, thank you, appreciate you. We had more ladies leave. DJ Archer left. Richie Teese left. I'm struggling to think of anybody else left, to be honest. But a bunch of the ladies changed companies. So the drawing has already been, Bob. You were entered from your super chat last week. I got you in. Unfortunately, you didn't win. But yeah, we did the drawing at the start. So yeah, we like chatted about that earlier. Me and Dom are both fairly stubborn, so I don't know that it's going to help us a great deal, to be honest. It might actually hinder me a little bit because now I've got less access to balls because we got Dom and Simo drill and everything that moves. So are there really? I don't know. I mean, there's Rash. Yeah, I don't know. So Big Kahuna says my house was bought by an owner of a restaurant and is converting all the lines to string pins. Any suggestions? Should I look for another house or adjust? I don't think the string pins is the end of the world, to be honest. So I mean, if I was you, I would see what you thought when you go there. Go in with an open mind. Like, don't get too it's just like politics. Just don't get too like upset by the narrative online. Like, just have your own experiences. Like, for me, I'm kind of excited to bowl on strings. I think it might take away some of the advantage that the two-handers have. But it's just bowling. It's just different. It's like when we stop bowling on wood lanes and start bowling on plastic lanes. It's just going to be different. You just got to adapt. So I think your average will probably go down a little bit to start with. So just have fun with it. Don't get too wrapped up in it being string pins and this isn't real bowling and the rest of it. It's just the way it's going. It's like, it's just not something worth getting stressed about. Just go and enjoy your night. That'd be my suggestion. So, quick question: as a fellow high track player, have you tried messing with lateral? No. To get your track lower? No. And the two-handers clipping the fingers is very normal. And that again is like trying to keep the ball more underneath you rather than having the ball like, out to the side, like trying to keep the ball underneath you is how you're going to get away from that. I think pretty much every two-hander goes through that when they first make the change, or when they're getting better. So, okay. One more question here. It says, no. How does the ball truck work? First come, first serve. No, the ball truck is controlled by the tour reps. So they will like kind of keep inventory and understand where we're at. And you kind of go to them and you say, hey, I'm thinking about drilling X, Y, and Z, whatever. And they'll like direct you. So, if you're in 73rd place and we have 2 Equinox solids left, and that's the ball that the top 3 guys are all using, you probably don't have a fucking chance of drilling one of those. So that's just the way it works. Like, they tend to, people understand where they are in the food chain. If Balmo's asking for it and he's in 50th, he's probably going to get it. If like I'm asking for it and I'm in 50th, I'm probably not going to get it. And that's totally fine. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you. We got through 57 minutes. So that means that you guys did a really good job of directing the show. Thank you. I appreciate you. It's nice to have a conversation back and forth with the screen, but I need some interaction, and we got that. So that's awesome. So if you get a chance, please support all of the sponsors that support me and Chris. They are Storm, Rotogrip, 900 Global, Turbo, Coolwick, Bowlers Mart, Fire Lake Bowling Center, Lightning Strikes, and of course my boys up in Terrell, Platinum Ford. You guys are awesome, all of you. Platinum Ford is on my list this week because I've got my shiny new truck outside, and that's awesome. But we do have one more super chat from Bob, so I will get that right now. Where would the Transformer fit in my arsenal? Ion Max, Equinox Solid, Viking, Belmo, Identity 2.0. For me, it would probably fit between the Equinox Solid and the Viking, depending on how you drilled it. If you go down with the down layout, it might be between the Ion Max and the Equinox Solid. But I think with the way the surface is, I think you're probably going to see it fit between the Equinox Solid and the Viking. So that's where I would be at. Thanks for the question, Bob. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. They did. Yeah. Storm got one lady back. I got a Lariat F-150. So, yeah. All right. See you guys next week. Probably. We will try and figure out something from Storm. And if not, we will try and record some content up there. But you know how good me and Chris are with that. So, all right. Take it easy, guys. See you later. Thanks for watching. Enjoy your rest of the week and the weekend. And if you're bowling anywhere, strike a bunch and steal some of that dough. Take it easy. Bye-bye now.